Nice.
Yeah.
Educate, you encourage your women to motivate you through whatever you've been going through. We can talk about it. We ain't passing no judgment. So don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever your real life looks like. Stay in your lane. Come out the dark and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. Tune into your late talk show. It makes us feel good just to know we're not alone. No more will be isolated and cast aside. Come on, just come out the dark. Just don't be afraid of your heart. So don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever your real life looks like. Stay in your lane. Come out the dark and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. It's your Lane Talk Show with Coach Trish Hannah.
Hey, hey, hey. Welcome everyone to your Lane Talk Show with your coach, Trish Hannah. It is so awesome to be in your presence and in your hearing, actually, today on this beautiful Sunday. We are broadcasting live in the beautiful Nassau, Bahamas. Happy November, y'all. And time change. Y'all have no excuse. Wherever y'all had to go today, I know for a fact that y'all should have been. Not I know, but y'all should have been on time. Okay, no excuse. No one should have been late today to no church, to no sessions, to no conference, to no whatever it is that was happening today. Y'all should have been on time, right? Just like how y'all on time now to listen to the best talk show in the Bahamas right now, right? Yeah. All right. So let me just give you a little insight about this talk show. Your Lane Talk Show was created to educate, empower, and encourage women of all ages. And I say this every Sunday, but I have to pick up the men. Although this is a women's talk show, we have lots of men that tune in, lots of hubbies, lots of spouses, etc., boyfriends that tune into the show too. Some of them, like I always say, either hit me up at the food store, some in the church parking lot, some at it was one last Sunday before last. We hosted a little football thing in our garage. Some of the men were saying, I like your talk show. I really like your talk show. I listen to it, blah, blah, blah. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the men that tune in. Thank you for the ones that have their ears tuned up, especially when we talk about relationships and sex. Yeah, I had to say it already. I had to say it because they'll be like, oh, this is Be Juicy. And they'll tell me the name of the show. Sometimes I don't even remember the show or the guest who I have. And they'll be like, yeah, that's the one when you had XYZ. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you. Now, last week, we had with us Dr. Jillian Curry Williams and Melissa Maycock again on part 2 of Radiant Resilience, Thriving Beyond Breast Cancer. It was amazing. It was amazing. You're going to have to go to YouTube and look up Coach Trishana. There you'll see episode 75. And for those who've missed it, of course, and for those who want to listen to it again, just go there to the website, to YouTube, Coach Trish Hannah, and it will be episode 75. Radiant Resilience, Thriving Beyond Breast Cancer. You gotta listen to it, especially for those who may be going through that journey at the moment. I'm experiencing breast cancer. For those who know, I think husbands and spouses who have their wives that are maybe going through it as well. I advise you to please tune in and listen to that show. It is so informative. It's so inspiring. And there's so much knowledge and insight to learn from there. And so I want to thank you even to my Facebook audience who are tuning in now. I have someone who's always tuning in from Roxtown and Luthra, Ella Francis Hall. Thank you so much for tuning in. And she make her presence known. Listen, I from Roxtown and Luthra and I tuning in. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for making your presence known. And thank you for being a part of your Lane Talk Show. Thank you for the questions that you ask. And I pray and hope that you will continue to be inspired as you tune into us every Sunday. Now, I need y'all to share this live on your page. Your Lane Talk Show. Today we will be embarking on a journey to unlock the secrets of financial success and explore the art of budgeting. Ah. Today, we have a distinguished guest who will guide us through the intricacies of mastering your money and achieving your financial dreams. We have to do this. This is imperative, and I can tell you why now, because money matters. And I know that it could be a daunting challenge for many of us. But with the right knowledge and strategies, we have paved the way to financial security and prosperity. And that's only if you actually accept the knowledge that is given to you and apply the knowledge that is given to you. Now, whether you're looking to save for a dream vacation, buy a new home, or retire comfortably, our guest is here to share insights and practical advice to help you reach your financial goals. So call someone, call them and tell them to tune into Your Lane Talk Show today, please, because you want to be set free from whatever bondage that you may be going through financially. Now, there are ways to listen to this show. You got star 106.5 FM dial. That's if you have to head out soon, or somebody you calling them and they be like, man, I know. That's okay. Go and tell them, go tune on their radio, turn it on, tune into 106.5 FM. And then, of course, channel 976 for those who have cable. Go right ahead and you can listen in. All right. But if you want to see my beautiful guest in person, you can tune into Your Lane Life Coaching's Facebook page and see her, because not only does she have knowledge, but she has beauty. All right. So you want to be able to delve. We want to delve, because it ain't just you, because I learned it too. Okay. We're going to be delving into budgeting techniques, goal setting, debt management, and much more today. I already feel a part two coming, because it's only so much we could do in an hour and a half. But whatever it is that's going to take place, I know that it's going to be a beautiful experience for us all. All right. And my predictions. Now, that's ain't reached yet, but I know she's tuning in on her way coming here. Well, look at the Lord. Look who does she bring in today. Odessa's here. Odessa, now you reach right, real quick, because this is where I need you for. Now, you've seen the topic. Yeah. What do you think our predictions are for this episode?
So we can have at least 15% laughter.
Whole 15%?
She looks like she's funny.
For true?
Yeah.
Okay, so we could do the 85%. Aha moments.
Yeah.
So anybody crying today? No crying. No. So 85% aha moments, 15% laughter. All right, let's go see. I'm for it. I reach, she reach, Dessa reach. We ready to roll. Your Lane episode 76, Mastering Your Money, the Art of Budgeting. That's today's topic. And it's brought to you by Airborne Freight and Cargo Services, John's Shoe Store and Accessories, Your Lane Life Coaching, Bahama Odds and Ends Party Supplies, Tylenol Cold and Flu, distributed by Lowe's Wholesale, and John's Careware. If you are looking for a wide selection of scrubs, lab coats, med accessories, and chefware, head on down to John's Careware. John's Careware has 2 convenient locations to serve you: Rosetta Street opposite John's Shoe Store and Carmichael Road in the John's Plaza building. This month, they are giving you an opportunity to win a free mammogram at 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center on Your Lane Talk Show. Of course, we did that in the month of October. This is the final day. So I can't say this month. This is the final day for that giveaway. All right. And so what we're going to do is have the third person call the text number again, because the actual lines in the studio is down for right now. So we're going to text the number. You know for sure I remember that number. So the text number is 427-7200. And we'll have the third person to call the show, and the test is yours. 427-7200. Post that in there for me, please. DZ 427-7200. Once you are the third caller, the test is yours. Guess what? You had an opportunity. If you have not, had the opportunity to get a mammogram, please, I encourage you to go ahead and do so. We always want to make sure that we are, preventing things and making sure that we are not at a point where things are just too late and then we find out at the last minute, or because we find out because at that point, if you've listened to last week's show, things were happening in these women's bodies, and I think one of them saying that she just was like, oh, she brushed it off, or the doctors brushed it off. So mammograms are a great tool, and a process where you'll be able to prevent, measures in advance, right? Yeah, I struggle with my words today. All right, preventing measures, and it's free. All you have to do is show up. That's the only thing you have to do. And of course, before showing up, you got to call. So I think the number is 427-7200, be the third person, and the mammogram is yours. Now, introducing Tylenol, cold and flu. For those who may not know, yes, this is a great opportunity for you because the cold and flu season is among us and upon us. This is your trusted companion during the cold and flu season. Now, Tylenol, it makes you feel better. It ties the whole family together. The cold, flu, pain, fever, sinus, all of that, what's going on. They know how to ensure this particular medicine, knows how to ensure that whatever fever, flu, pain, whatever sinus you're having, it's able to cure. All right. Now, if you want to know more about that, you can go down to Lowe's Wholesale, any of their locations, to purchase their Tylenol cold and flu medicine today. Now, I know but I ready. That's you ready? I ready because I want to learn. That's you want to learn?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. We got to learn today. We have with us in studio Garnette Mills, and I think she does a really, really, really good job. Not I think, but I know she does a really good job with teaching others on how to budget using her various social media platforms. And to be honest with you, I had asked a question on my Facebook account, my personal account, trying to find out if anyone know of anyone who does budgeting well, or who does the little envelope and the little challenges and stuff well. I say in the little, but y'all know what I mean, right? These things, because my mom is an avid saver. Like, this happened must be like a year and a half now she's in it, and all she does is, come order this thing for me, please. All kind of things on Amazon. You have these little wallets and the little envelopes and the little coloring paper where you color in the $20 and the $50. Yeah, that's all. So I had to make sure I get somebody on who can talk more intelligently about this particular savings challenge that she does, so that, of course, this is not only for her, but I dedicate this show to her today. Mommy, I love you. I'm a mama's girl. I'm dedicating today's show to her, and for those who want to learn more about budgeting. Now with Garnette, she's excellent in that. I've been following her for the past couple of weeks since I posted this, because there were a lot of people that suggested that she would be quite efficient in having to teach us about how to budget. And so, of course, it's an honor to have her. She is a mother of 2 teenage children. I can't wait for this camera to come on her, because I want y'all to know that she looks like a teenager herself. All right. She's a law enforcement officer. She's a baker and the owner of Popalicious. And for those who don't know who or what that is, you can go on to Facebook and type in Popalicious. All right. And see the goodies that she has to offer. Now, I've seen the beautiful cakes, but I've never tasted it. And she ain't bring none with her. So yeah, that's me. This to show you on today. She ain't bring none with her. She know there's a good Sunday after you done had your Sunday dinner. You want one little dessert. But I should have bagged her from last week. But I next time, because DZ, exactly.
I got you. No, I got
Come
you.
on.
I got yours.
Next
Yours
time.
straight.
Okay, good, right? And the cakes are just beautiful. I must say, excellent. So clearly her hands are blessed. And I just want to allow her, if it's anything that she wants to say prior to me asking the questions, to talk a little bit more about herself. Welcome to Your Lane Talk Show, Garnette. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Hi. Hello, everyone, and I'm so happy to be here.
Someone done say she is the plug. Look at that. Y'all like eat. Y'all too eat all kind
Thank
of.
you, whoever that is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all like eat things too much sweet things, sweet mouth. But it's an honor having you on the show. Tell us a little bit more before we go into all these questions about budgeting and saving, etc. What got you to this point where you the interest rather of having to do your budgeting and savings challenges?
Okay, what's so amazing is growing up, it was something that was always instilled in me.
Mm.
My family, we went away every summer, and my parents gave us our envelopes with our monies in it. I think a lot of Bahamians who went away back in those days is like your parents give you a little envelope, put your money in it, and you're responsible for budgeting your money on that trip. So from then, the value of budgeting was always instilled in us along with hard work and entrepreneurship. So as I grew older, of course, you tend to stray away a bit, because you feel like, oh, what mommy and I'm teaching me isn't right. Back in 2018, there was a lady on Instagram, Ava, I think she was Ava Smith. She started this budgeting campaign where she was a financial advisor. So I decided, I was like, you know what, let me invest. It was an investment, and that is very important in being financially free. You have to invest in order to get a better understanding. So when I got in contact with her, I think I was like about $30,000 or $35,000 in debt. Because at that time I was recently divorced, and I had moved from Grand Bahama to Abaco. So between legal fees and all of the stuff with divorce, I was like about, let's say $35,000, $40,000 into debt. I always had the entrepreneurial spirit, because that runs in my family on both sides, my mom and my father. And when I spoke to her, she enlightened me on so many stuff. And she's like, the only way you can kind of lessen this debt is you have to start selling something. I said, well, I could sell. I have no problem selling. So at that time I was selling planners. Planners was a big thing back in 2018. And I started selling planners. I started selling earrings, all kind of stuff, because I had this massive debt where I needed to cut the debt down, because you're a prisoner really to the debt. So it was like you couldn't enjoy your life. You couldn't do what it is that you want to do because you were basically in debt. And I followed the steps that she gave. She follows the Dave Ramsey system, which is the envelope system. And I started from there. By 2019, I was debt free. I was debt free, yes, by following the steps that she would have given to me. Of course, we had to follow the snowball system. What it is you pay off your smaller debt, and you keep going on and going until you finish your big debt. So I think at that time, my smallest debt was like about a $5,000 loan. So all of the money from the planners that I sold, I paid that off. And so the extra money I had from that, then I went to the medium, and then finally I paid off everything.
Man, you right in the smack of the questions that I have, because now that you use the term, no, that's fine, because guess what? We leading, however we leading today. Tell me about this snowball. I know what you said. You said you start from the smallest debt and you work your way. So how is that process really? What should one do? So does that mean that they neglect the other debts that they have? How does that work?
No, so this is how it works. You basically get all of your debts together. For me, I don't own any, at this present time, I don't own any credit cards. I haven't had a credit card in about, let's say from 2019. I haven't owned a credit card. Everything I pay for, I pay cash or I pay for my debit card. So what it was, okay, you put all of your bills together and you see, okay, if you owe 5,000 there, 10,000 there, 3,000 there, 2,000 there, you figure, okay, well, if I make, let's say, for example, $200 a month in my side hustle, I use that money to pay off the $2,000 there. The other debt you're still paying, but what happens is you're basically doubling up on the 2,000. So once you already paid off that 2,000, that money which you would have had along with the extra money that's coming in from your side hustle or whatever this you're doing, you then tackle the 3,000. Once you pay that off, then you tackle the 5,000, the 10,000. So that's why it's called a snowball, because you start with one small ball, and as it rolls into something big. And so by the time as you try to tackle the 10,000, you realize I have so much extra money now, because all of those leakage that you had where your money would have been going, you don't have that anymore. So now you might have only had maybe $500 to put on the 10,000 because you were stretching your money so thin. Now you have $1,000 and you cut it down better, faster.
So that works with, of course, you having a side hustle, because you can't depend, like you said, you can't depend on that one income that you're getting, or that one job. So it has to be something that you can work with.
You have to find a way to bring extra money in. The reality of it is, like, you can't make it off of, you barely can make it off of 2 salary.
Come on.
So when you look at it, you have to find a way to sell something or to bring in a stream of income. I know it's tiresome because sometimes you're tired, you're frustrated, but you have to think of, okay, I want to be financially free. So in order for me to be financially free, this is a sacrifice that I have to make. And I find that the biggest issue is we don't like to sacrifice.
Come on.
We don't like to be inconvenienced. We don't like to say no today to be able to say yeah tomorrow. So
listen, let me put a pause right there. Let me help somebody today. You know good and well that you're a great teacher. You know good and well you're a great baker. Your auntie, your uncle, your sister, whoever taught you how to do something with your hands. You know good and well that you can do makeup because you did makeup on your sister. You did it on your dolls. You cut up all the Barbie doll hair when you was with 5 or 6, so you know how to do style hair and stuff like that.
yes.
Continue to invest in it and try to use whatever gifts that you have in your whatever your hands find to do it. I promise you, because you are familiar with how to do things anyway, all you're doing is just practically just
Add value
doing
to
right.
it,
Right.
yeah.
You just literally doing what you already know how to do. It's in you. It's innate. Look for that innate gift. Look, and all you're doing, like I said, even if that's innate, there are times that, as Garnette says, you invest.
Mhm.
So it's okay that even if Grammy taught you how to bake these particular cakes, it's okay that even if you go to YouTube University, and get to know how to decorate the cakes properly or whatever have you, invest. Use what's in your hand. And I could use the scripture real quick. God asked Moses, what is in your hand?
Mhm.
You use what you have. You could do makeup. You can do hair. You could cook. That's one service out of the many services that we have in this country. We know ain't gonna never fail.
Yeah.
Is because people like
Food
to eat.
industry, yes.
All right, that food industry is the bomb. Food and hair.
Yeah.
Okay, because ain't no way we ain't looking good.
Okay.
If you gotta buy or sell, go to Ali, whatever the place name, Alibaba, what the
And
place name.
AliExpress,
Go
yes.
and go get your bulbs, bring them over, go put them on WhatsApp. I teaching somebody, go put them on Facebook, go open up a new account, go dash your business, bam. You'd be surprised how many people will try to invest in you or try to purchase from you because, and offer it with a smile, because that's not a topic.
Yes.
We ain't even going in that. All right. So it's good to know that, hey, yes, you have this 9-to-5 job and this is the amount of money that you're making, but this is not sufficient to cover my debt.
Exactly.
I have in me the hands to do makeup well, to fix hair well, to bake cakes, to do food, to do a little whatever have you. Let me invest in myself so that in my business so that I can go and get whatever funds that I can get to put on the smallest debt that I have now and then work my way up into the snowball effect. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. So let's talk about what exactly is budgeting. Why is it so important?
Okay, so what budgeting is to me is telling your money exactly where to go so that you'll be able to enjoy life in the future. So let me give you a part of my story that I missed.
Yeah.
Early 2019, I started to bake. This is when I started to bake. It was always something that I knew how to do, but I didn't tap into it because both of my grandmothers are bakers. Well, it was because one has already deceased. And my spirit was like, start baking. I said, I don't bake. I don't know how to. But I started with dipping cake pops. That Christmas, I got my kids a little recipe book, and we made the cake pops. And the cake pops wasn't the best ever.
Okay.
So we dipped them. We sold them for their Valentine. We made money. I said, oh, and you got money in this. Then we went to the strawberries. We went to the other stuff. And because I had already invested in a financial advisor the year prior,
Right.
I knew not to waste the money, even though the money was coming. And remember, I was already debt free, so I could have lived my best life.
Yeah.
But I already had those values that she instilled in me. When I went to the States that summer, purchased a lot of stuff because I was planning to take my business to the next level. Hurricane Dorian came because I am Abaconian. I moved here from the storm, so lost everything. Basically, when we came to Nassau, the clothes on our back, that was it. But I had money.
Come on.
I had money. I didn't have to go on the lines. And not knocking anyone that had to go on the lines, but because I had money saved and because I budget towards the school fee for the kids, I budget towards the summer vacation, I budget towards, we still go out, once a month. I treat the kids. Well, my son is 19 now, so he's basically on his own. You figured out on your own. I hope that he learned what I taught him, but so I still treat my kids. So even though the monies were coming in, you still had to budget the money. You had to tell the money where to go. I knew that 10% went to where that went, 20% went to where that went. My living standard, I didn't exceed or I didn't increase it because my money is increased. I stayed within that same bracket of what I spent.
Boundaries.
Exactly. The boundaries so that I could have monies for, and I'm grateful that I did that because, like I said, hurricane came, we basically lost
that was
everything.
Literally the rainy day.
Exactly. So that the emergency fund, that's what it is. It's the money you have saved up for emergency. Exactly. So we came here. I was able to buy my car cash after losing everything. And I came here. I went on a lot, purchased a little bubbler. I mean, it's a bubbler, but it took me around.
Exactly.
You see, it worked. I was able to get the kids in school, all because I budgeted. Still without loans. I didn't have to go to the bank to get loans. I didn't have to do anything because I had the money budgeted. So I knew that I had $200 towards my son money monthly, $200 towards my daughter, $150 towards gas, $300 towards grocery. So once I got paid, I separated the monies. So each dollar know exactly where it had to go.
Ooh.
And that is important. That is to me what budgeting is. You setting a goal of what you want to live off and you stay within those perimeters of that particular amount.
Okay, so what are some practical tips then for creating and sticking to the budget? So we know that we were telling the money's where to go. So how do we create it and how can we stick to it?
Okay, so for me, I follow, like I say, Dave Ramsey with the envelope system. And what it is you write down all of your expenses monthly. For me, luckily, I work for government. When I say luckily, my salary don't change.
Right.
It is what it is. I know what I will get paid
every month
unless they decide to give us a raise. So if my take-home salary is $2,500, I'm just using
randomly.
I know that rent is $800. I know that grocery is $300. I know that gas is $150. I know that let's say extracurricular activities for the kids is $300. I know that the wash house is another $100. I deduct from that $2,500 that I have as take home. If I realize that my expenses is going over or too close, then I realize, okay, you have to sit back and cut back on something. What is it that you're going to cut back on? My nails, you can see, look. Yeah. That's a cutback that I had because my daughter decided she wanted to do swimming. The swimming is $267 a month. That's just swimming.
Yeah.
So I had to cut back on basic stuff to offer her that luxury.
This is the sacrifice that you're referring to.
The sacrifices, exactly. Yeah. When you look at the food store is expensive, I agree, but some things we really don't have to buy in the food store if we want to be honest. So say, for example, I had a envelope for eating out. I cut that out completely so we don't eat out anymore. You eat at home. And that's just what it is. I know sometimes it's considered taboo that, you have these kids, you're making them eat home. But if you want to go to swimming, this is the sacrifice that we have to make. So where will we sacrifice? Will we sacrifice the swimming or will we go to Kentucky and Burger King and eat? Will we sacrifice getting the...
No, my toe being mashed, so it's fine.
That's a good thing. So it's about sacrifice. We have this thing where we want instant gratification. We don't believe in delayed gratification. So you have to delay your wants for your needs. And out of that $2,500, bear in mind, I still have to save. I like ASU. So my ASU still have to come out of that. So I have to figure out, okay, do I want to eat out just to floss on Instagram or Facebook, or do I want to save this money? And for me, what I advise people to do is set an amount that you want to save every year. Let's say, for example, you want to save $5,000 a year. That's $450 a month. You might say it's a lot, but if you sacrifice, then you can find ways to save that $450 and you have $5,000 at the end of the year.
You getting all this, Odessa? You're writing it down. You got to watch the replay. Okay, listen, because she said something so important. She spoke about knowing the difference between your needs and wants. And so my question, we're going to take a break real quick, but my question after the break would be, how can individuals differentiate between their needs and wants when budgeting? And why is this distinction so important? And this is for, you are some people who know the difference, but then some people who be like, man, but I really need these shoes because I go into this event and I want these shoes to go with my dress. You understand? Or I really need these strawberries. So whatever it is, when you're in the food store, so there are some things that they think they need, But that doesn't mean that that is a necessity. So let's take a break real quick and we'll get back to that same question
Yes.
right after this. Hello, hello, hello to our Facebook audience. Thank you so much for tuning into Your Lane Talk Show. We have with us Garnette Mills in studio, and we want to thank you, Lord. Why Brian? You never said thank you, Lord. We want to thank you all for being a part of today's show on Facebook. Now, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and type your questions in. Most of you who may be following her or listening to the show because of her, you probably ain't got no questions. She probably every conversation she probably telling you how to budget. All right, so you should not have any questions. But if you do have any questions, go ahead and you can ask those questions. I can then recite them and then allow her to answer them for you. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. We're on a break on the radio part, and of course, when we get back on, we will continue the show. Oh, thank you, Odessa. Don't forget to call or text in to the number 427-7200 to get your mammogram. Like, who is stench from not wanting to get a free you? The devil is a liar. You need it. It's necessary. So, of course, if you want to get a free mammogram, call. You're not going to be on air. The only thing I can do is ask you what your name is. All right. If you want to make up a new name and then say what the real name is, on the side, go ahead and do so. But the mammogram is yours, and we want to give it away today. All right. We have some people. Why ain't saying nothing on the screen? What's going on? DZ, what's happening? I see a lot of different posts there that I think are needed to be there. See if you can do that for me, please. Yes, sir. Come down, so go help her, please. Help him. Okay. So that's what we're doing today. We need. Sorry. Yes, I'm good. Thank you so much. Listen to me. While we're on our break, Garnette, I want you to know that this is much needed. I pray and really pray that Bahamians get this and they apply it, because it is really awful to see people who are, and maybe that's not the right words that I should use, but it shouldn't be that we live from paycheck to paycheck when we have the opportunity to be debt free. We have nothing should be holding us back, because I feel as if you can do it, anyone can do it.
Exactly.
You understand? And you just took the information and you applied it, right?
20 seconds.
20 seconds. That's awesome. I mean, you came out of what, 35,000, you said?
Yeah,
That?
35,000. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That is absolutely
and that's
amazing.
A lot. Trust me, that is
That
a
is
lot.
a lot. That is a lot. I mean, how can everyone should want to get to that point where we pay off our credit cards, pay off our loans, the student loans, and all these other things that we have? Yeah, we're on. Welcome back for those who are tuning in to us, just tuning into the show. We are live in studio. The topic for today is Mastering Your Money, the Art of Budgeting. And we have with us in studio Garnette Mills. She is just, listen, all I can say is this lady has no debt. All right. She came out of a $35,000 debt just by simply applying what she's learned and simply using what's in her hands and using that as well to help pay off the debt that she had. And it sounds so simple because I keep on saying simple, but it comes with discipline and it comes with sacrifice. And so just before the break, one of the things that I said that I was going to ask is, how do we differentiate between our needs and our wants when it comes to budgeting, and why is this distinction so important?
Okay, so I think that's an excellent question, because for us, we feel like, oh, I deserve it. I think that is the biggest lie that we tell ourselves. I deserve to have that. You have persons who, we know that we all need food in order to survive. We need food, we need the necessities, we need gas in our car. We need to have food, we need to have clothing. Fine. But you don't need to eat steak and lobster every week. You don't need to buy lunch out from the fast food every day. You don't need to go to Starbucks every morning. You're saying, oh, I have to have Starbucks. I have to have coffee. But you can make coffee at home. Oh, I have to buy lunch. You could make lunch. I have lunch tin. I have a lunch tin and a lunch bag, and I carry that to work with me. What I realize is, as Bahamians, we have a expensive way of eating. That's just us, on Sundays. And I grew up with two meat on Saturday. On Sunday you have your two meat along with your sides, but you could cut back. It is important to have food because you need food. But hey, do I really need a grocery bill that's $300 a week, or can I cut back and eat the basics? It's not forever, mind you. It's just for a period of time, so that you can meet your financial goals. You need clothes. That's a fact. But let's be honest. So much of us have. Listen, I have shoes in my closet I have yet to wear. I have clothes in my closet I have yet to wear. And we go and we buy these clothes because, like you say, this function, that function, or we go to the States. Oh, I could buy. And the clothes, give the clothes away. And then realize that, hey, I don't need 5 pair of jeans. Like, when was the last time you wear that purple jeans? When was the last time you wear that purple dress? When was the last time you wear? You don't. So it makes you realize that, hey, I can live a frugal life. I could. And be proud of it. If I wear this outfit here today and I wear this next week, who can remember this the same outfit? Nobody.
It doesn't even matter. No, like, because we always have this thing where, oh, I already wore this before, so I can't wear this again.
Who remembers? No one.
But not only that, there was something that you said, man. You talked about like the food. Is it necessary? Like, let's talk about grocery shopping then, because this was also a part, like, further down in my questions. When we're shopping for things, what do you feel as if should be the basics?
So for me, on TikTok, what I do is every week I try to go to the food store and I only shop the specials. So, say for example, my budget for grocery is $300 a month. I live within that particular budget. Of course, you need your water. Of course, you need your basic, let's say your eggs, your milk, your rice,
bread basket.
Yeah, maybe your meat. But when we going into salmon, when we going into crab legs, when we going into steak, when we going into certain stuff, it's like, do you really need that? And then that's one of the reasons why we're unhealthy too as Bahamians, because we have this expensive way of living, because we don't want to eat the yard food because we consider that as poor. Let's be real. If you give on a Sunday, let's say you want to put some vegetables on the side of that, or you want to put some boiled cassava or these stuff that are cheaper, it's considered, why are you eating that? You poor. What? It's food. Food is food. And it's healthier food.
Because all go in one place.
All go in one place.
And one coming out one place, right? Okay.
It's healthier food.
It's healthy. I mean, because I need to know, because I find myself, I have a family of 5. So I find myself spending at least $200 a week, honestly, on a good week. All right. I need to cut back. I know for a fact, especially over the summer when everybody have a belly that just long and it don't ever have an end. Okay, like every second they in the fridge or in the cupboard, so you have to keep on buying. So what advice would you give for parents who are tuning in to help with budgeting as far as grocery spending?
You have to first have the conversation with the kids. Our kids are a lot wiser than we think they are. And for me, what I had to do with my kids was I had to have the conversation. Okay, we're saving up for this particular thing. So as a result, if I buy, let's say, 2 10-pound of leg quarters, that is going to have to stretch. A lot of times we eat because we're bored. We're not really hungry, because if you just had breakfast, why 10 minutes later you're in the fridge looking for juice? And
Chloe, I need my husband to go and make sure Chloe listening.
And it's not punishing. I think our biggest issue in our culture again is we make it look as if we're punishing the kids. No, we're not. You teach them that, okay, this has to last a week, because in order for this to last, you have to cut back on what you're eating. You want to go to swimming, you want to go to ballet, you want to go to these things. The only way I could afford these things is if you cut back. And the kids cut back.
You need to come to my house then, please. Because you know what I was telling them? I said, use your school belly.
Yeah.
All right? Use your school belly. You know good and well, you only have break time and lunchtime. What you doing in my fridge?
In the fridge.
Again.
Every 10 minutes in the fridge. and that's just it. They always. But see, like for me too, like I said, my son is off age. My daughter is 14. Yeah. I don't buy juices and stuff. Drink water. And that's our problem too. We go to the store and we feel like we have to buy all these expensive, like Kool-Aid ain't Kool-Aid no more. Sunny D ain't Sunny D no more because these stuff are expensive. What's wrong with drinking water? Why do you need to have 4 and 5 different juices in your fridge? Why do you need to have 4 or 5 different snacks? Because we're making our kids unhealthy.
Yes.
Whether we believe it or not, by these same things that we're buying, that's not only expensive, but it's filled with chemicals and additives and preservatives to make our kids sick. So we just have to sit down and have the conversation with them. And don't look at it as you're punishing them. And what you're doing is you're preparing them for adulthood.
Absolutely.
You're preparing them.
Right. There's a term that my husband says, waste not, want not.
Exactly.
I remember reading that from your bio as well. That's something that, but the thing about it is these kids now, like I don't mind sharing this because somebody needs to be set free today. All right. I have a child, I'm not calling her name, that you would put fruits in her bag and then they come back.
Oh, no.
They come back and I am livid because I'm like, no, y'all know good and well fruits cost XYZ, even sometimes more than meat.
It's expensive.
All right, in the store. So you need to eat. You're going to sit down at this table and you're going to eat that before you ask for anything else for the rest of the day. All right. And so we have to teach them. I love that you said that. There has to be a way that we can teach our children how to save as well, because you teach them how to save, and then of course how to be disciplined when it comes to what we give them. I remember also that when I was growing up, I couldn't fix my mouth to tell my mommy I don't want this and I don't need that, and I'm a picky eater. You eat whatever's on the table. Now
so we're the problem. It's not the kids, it's us as parents. But what I would advise, because even like my daughter, she's a bit of a picky eater, but I find ways, for example, the fruits. I make smoothies.
Right.
For her to sit down and eat fruits by itself, she's not going to do it. But if I make smoothies in the morning on the way out to the door, she drinks the smoothie. So you just have to find different ways so that the children will be excited to eat what it is that you purchase from the food store.
I love that.
And then a thing that we need to do too, what I usually do is like I say, shop the specials, and I shop in mind with what am I going to cook this week.
All right. So you don't just randomly pick things.
Because randomly picking up stuff, half the stuff in your cupboard catching dust.
You're not gonna eat it. So you plan. So here's, because that was my next question. How do we manage now with going at the grocery store? And I like how you started that off. You come with a plan. Always have a list. All right. I know that. I learned that. And don't go in the food store with your belly growling. No. You can't be hungry in the food store. I learned that too.
You pick up all kind of
stuff. Pick up all kind of stuff. So when you go, you look for the special. So this is only at, Robertson Place, or do you go other places to find other deals? You don't got to name the name of it.
Honestly, I don't see the sense in me going 5 or 6 different stores just to get 10 cents cheaper. That don't make sense. The gas that I'm going to spend and the frustration because of the traffic, I just stick one place. Now, what I like, since COVID, a lot of the companies, they put their specials online. So I look through the specials and I be like, okay, this. So instead of just going to
all over the place,
if it's a place that, okay, that meat is on special this week, or the fruits is on special this week there, and I know that it's going to be a bang for my daughter, then I'll just go pick up the fruits from there.
How do you feel about going?
See, I like stamps.
That we can talk about that. But how do you feel about going to the farmers market and stuff for the vegetables, the fruits and vegetables? Do you feel as if there's a saving?
I haven't tried it.
You haven't tried it?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
On a Saturday, I ain't trying to go to Gladstone.
No. Okay, I got you.
I mean, I will try it. This Saturday, I'll probably try it. But the traffic, bear in mind, I'm from the family island.
Right.
So the traffic alone stresses me out.
Yes.
If I have to go on the traffic on Saturday, the Gladstone Road, just because the fruit's $1 cheaper, I'm not going.
No, because that's the gas going right there.
And you're frustrated. So by the time as I reach, I can't think sensibly because...
All right. So you shared something about the money management mistakes. What other mistakes you feel as if people should avoid when trying to improve their financial situation?
Lending money to family members and friends.
Because you ain't getting
don't lend money. Say no.
No.
Real talk.
For sure, you being man.
Say no.
Okay.
Say no, because
she said it, not me.
No, real like. Family members and friends don't ever pay back. Some people might be in the comments upset, but y'all don't pay back. I have family members and friends who owe me now for years
Mhm.
and they don't pay back.
But I guess now there's two types of people. The ones who talk to you like they ain't owe you nothing, like they talking and having
Like you have
conversation,
amnesia.
and then you have the other ones who's avoid you. So when you go
Okay.
and left,
They
can
block
try,
and delete
but
you and they ain't
back
even
in.
talking to you.
So yeah, so you don't lend to them. No.
Biggest mistake.
So what other mistakes you think as far as money management that people make, especially in this country?
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Mm.
Not because your coworker got a hair done yesterday mean that you need to get your hair done tomorrow. Not because you see your neighbor with a brand new car means that you need to go and get a loan for a brand new car. Not because your sister went to Atlantis for the weekend or Bahama means that you need to go next weekend.
Mhm.
Our biggest problem is trying to keep up with the Joneses when you don't know the expense that the Joneses have.
Mm.
And I realize, and I guess it's not just Bohemians, but we're in the culture where, if we don't post it, it ain't never happen. So everybody want to have something to post.
Content.
Everybody want to be able to post something,
Mhm.
and that is an issue because you're causing holes in your bucket. There's no use you taking water and putting it in your bucket if you have so much different holes because
I
you're
love
defeating
that.
the purpose.
I love that.
You're defeating the purpose. Even if it's a big hole and that water come gushing out, or it's a small hole and it dripping,
Mhm.
the water is still
Still
coming
coming
out
out.
of the bucket.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, when you look in the bucket, there's no more water
Nothing
in the
there.
bucket.
Nothing there. Many people struggle with saving money. What are some strategies to build a robust savings plan and emergency fund? Because I heard you talk about that. So what are some strategies to go ahead and do that? You already mentioned having to get a second, source of income. But what other things can be done?
One of the things, like I would have said earlier, ASU. Of course, let me put a disclaimer. Not everybody who on Facebook say they so ASU holder, you trust that. No. So for me, my ASU lady, she's been my ASU lady for over 17 years.
Mhm.
So you find someone that's
Trusted.
credible and that's trusted. Persons say the bank, and let me put a disclaimer again. I am not a bank or a financial advisor, but I am a human being, and the banks is the duck or like I count my bank fees this month. It was $50. I was like, how?
Yeah.
How? So I put my money in the credit union.
Mhm.
I am a credit union person.
Mhm.
I love the credit union. I take my money, I put my money in the credit union. Once I budget at the end of the day and I realize this is for saving, that is left over, I go straight to the credit union and I deposit that in.
Mhm.
That would works for me. I know a lot of persons talk now about the post office and the savings plan that they have at the post office. I don't have that much information on that, but that is something that I said I want to try in
Yeah,
January.
me too.
Where
Mhm.
you go and you carry your money to the post office and the post office holds your money for you. You have to decide what works best for you. Some persons only making minimum wage, and it's unfortunate, but if you realize, okay, I only have $10 to save at the end of the day, put that $10 aside because that $10 then adds and make $20, then $30, and before you know it's that you have $1,000 saved. I think it was this year or last year when Mr. Haikidas would have said that the average Bahamian don't have $1,000
And their
saved.
bank account, yeah.
Come
That's right.
on.
Mhm.
And I saw a lot of persons with all the dialogues of why, the cost of living is high and this and that. But these are the same persons who are there every weekend to the fast food place, or they out buying
nails,
weave, or they out partying. Like, you
makeup.
have to cut back for season.
Yeah.
And so in order to have the money saved, because the emergency could happen to any one of us. You could catch a flat tire. The child might have injury at school. A hurricane might come, but you have to be able to say, okay, I cut back for this year. Therefore, I was able to save $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000.
Someone said you don't need name brand clothes or shoes.
Oh no,
you don't need that.
I follow one or two persons who celebrities or persons who's rich, and their clothes has no names on it.
Man, I don't even follow. I know.
No names on it.
What? They in sweet
No
waters
names.
and they happy.
You understand? Like,
it's only us.
it's us because we have something we have to prove.
To
we
prove.
have to prove something to somebody.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
love
our
that.
biggest problem.
I joined a savings challenge with this group. I have a set of Army sisters, and we're starting on Tuesday. Woo-hoo-hoo! So we are actually saving $20 a week for 26 weeks. All right. And some people are doing $40 a week for 26 weeks. So we're gonna by I think April or so, the savings challenge of 500 or to for the $20 and 1,000 for the $40. And that's only just to get us in the practice of having to do that. Right. But what other challenges can be done? I've seen your posts. My mommy talks about it a lot as well. What other challenges can be done for someone who has plans for instance, vacation for next year? How can they start with a small and work their way up?
Okay, so for me, which I love challenges, and I have different challenges that I do on TikTok, whether it's the Christmas savings challenge, the back to school
Mhm.
challenge for school supplies, the insurance challenge to insure my vehicle for my birth month. So you have to decide. See, it goes back to sitting down with your salary and realizing, or having a harsh conversation with yourself about, this is what I have, this is what needs to be done for me to bring in the extra money. And once you realize, okay, I could sacrifice and save $50 extra a month or $500 extra a month, you then start to allocate. If you have, say, for example, a trip that's coming up, open a bank account, open an account where you save
Specifically for that.
just for that.
Mhm.
So that money is there just for that. Or if you decide that you want to use the envelopes, the cash envelope system, you don't have to purchase. You could go get little envelopes from the store and you put on that
The name
car
of
insurance or birthdays, the holiday trip, whatever, and then you just put your monies in it as you can. And at the end of the day, that's your money that's saved.
So how does that work for someone who funds their monies fluctuate, for instance, on commission? So they'll have a certain amount this month, and if it's a slow season, a certain amount this month. Oh, that's a hotelians as well. There are some people who during certain seasons, they have to cut back, don't go to work, only probably go to work for like 2 days out of the week or whatever have you. How can you budget based on that when your funds fluctuate? Like you said, you work for government, so you have consistent financial, what do I say, a consistent flow of
Salary,
income.
yeah.
Salary. So how does that work for someone who doesn't?
That's where the side hustle comes in. Because once you develop your clientele, or okay, well, say for example with me with cakes, I know that birthdays are every day, anniversaries are every day. I put in that work so that I can have orders every week. If I know my quota is $500 a week that I want to save, I push. So it's an uncomfortable period of your life, but you have to make sacrifices in order to save what it is that you want to save. And I think that's our biggest. I understand some persons work for the hotel, because before I joined the police force, I worked at the hotel. And I know sometimes the money is good, sometimes the money isn't. But you have to say, okay, this is my goal, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to reach to this goal, whether it's cleaning someone's house, whether it's working to Domino's as a driver, whether it's babysitting someone's kid. Like, there are ways you can make money so that you could be able to meet that financial goal that you set.
All right. So putting a side hustle or something so that you don't, if it's anything, that side hustle will help to balance out what it is that you're missing, especially in those low seasons of your career. I think Odessa said she had a question real quick. DC could help out with the mic, please.
So when you talked about Dave Ramsey, I've followed Dave Ramsey for a while as well. And I have a friend who is an avid listener of Dave Ramsey. And when he talked about selling, and you mentioned all of the extra clothing, all of the extra shoes, all of the extra stuff that we buy that's sitting in our closets that we don't use, it's good to give them away as well. However, we can also have yard sales.
Yes.
You can actually sell a whole lot of those, the things that are right in your house that you have no need for, and that can actually generate some extra monies. One of the things that I did when I wanted to say prepare for my mortgage insurance in January, and I know it was coming up in April, a lot of these companies now offer online payments. So what I did is I split the payments up so that every month. So if I know I have to pay $2,500 by the end of the year, I know that I can actually send $20 automatically every month, or $200 every month directly to that account, or to that company actually, and they just have a credit sitting on my account for when the bill comes due. So at the end of the day, when the month that the bill is actually due, I may only have a $300 balance, and that's all I have to pay, rather than coming up with $2,500 at the end at the end of the year to renew my insurances. And I did that with my mortgage insurance. I did that with my car insurance. So it makes your burden a whole lot lighter when it comes to paying off your debt, and not stressing when these bills come due, because sometimes you have your car insurance due, you have your licensing due, you may have your home insurance due, you have real property tax due. It's like certain points of the year you have
And BPL,
Yeah.
don't forget
so many
BPL.
things
Yeah.
due,
Yeah.
and you have to actually be smart about it. And then one other thing is that, when you're working with persons that work shifts and persons that don't have a
Stable.
salary that's a fixed salary,
Mhm.
it's flexible, and it's always changing.
Mhm.
There's lots of periods when those persons have bonuses, and even the fixed salary workers, we
Yes.
have bonuses. Take your bonus, put it up. Don't go and spend your bonus
Mm-hmm.
carelessly. And then those are periods when the people that are paid by the hour, they make overtime. Take those overtime monies and
Put them on
put
the
them
side.
aside,
Yeah.
because in a hotel
And your
we have
tips.
slow
Yeah.
months in the not we, but I used to work
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
hotel. We have slow periods. So at the end of the day, exactly that. Okay, April may come in, and that's very slow. We actually could take time off, but we was making that money come in January, February. Save that money
Same.
January, February. Don't go to every ball, don't go to every party, don't go to every
Yes.
concert that's coming up. Save that money so that at the end of the day, you making sacrifices, but then you ain't looking nobody looking up in your face for the last dollar that you have in your pocket either at the end of the day. So those are some tips as well.
I think our thing is we like to live large.
Mhm.
So because we like to live large and in charge, we don't think about tomorrow. We don't think about next week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think about
Exactly.
the year later. So like you said, persons who work in a hotel. I have friends who work in a hotel and they brag about, oh, let's make more money
Yeah.
than you need it. But then when that time come,
What?
Where is
Yeah.
the money?
save
Where's the
save
money?
the money.
Can we can
That's it.
we can we talk a little bit about because I know that with saving funds and stuff comes principles, right? There are some principles, some laws. You may not be an avid Bible scholar, someone who reads the Bible and go to church or whatever have you, but there are some principles in the Bible where if you apply it, no matter your status, your spiritual status, it will work. There are celebrities who believe in giving um, um, alms to the
Hmm.
poor, and because of that specific principle, they in return are blessed because of it. I may use the term blessed, but you know what I mean. That there's double portions of what they get because they give and they believe in that. Um, how do you? What are your views on that?
Okay. Getting controversial.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pay tithes at church. I go to church, but I don't pay tithes.
They don't have to be tithes. It
My
could be
ten
alms.
percent, my ten
Mm-hmm.
percent, I allocate that to help whoever. So what I do is, I believe in 10%.
Mm-hmm.
That is biblical. My 10% I don't give to the church.
Mm-hmm.
My 10% I put in an envelope, and I trust that God will tell me who to give that 10% to. And every month He lays somebody on my spirit to give that 10% to. And I could honestly say from my experience, I grew up in the church. My grandfather was a deacon in the church. My parents believe in tithes. I have been blessed more financially from giving to the poor, and the less fortunate persons who's in financial situations than when I just go and give it.
It's not controversial at all.
Because some
Some
people feel
people.
like, yeah, and so for me, and it was my conviction. I do read the Bible. I don't like how you I can't remember the scripture, but I remember I was reading the Bible, and when God said to, I don't know if it was Joshua or it was one of them, He
Mhm.
said, give to the fatherless, give to the foreigners in your land, give to the husbandless, the widow.
Mhm.
He
Widows.
lived
Mhm.
out the persons
Mhm.
to give to. And I started when we was in Abaku. What we used to do was go to the old ladies in the community, carry them little fruits, sing, spend time with them. And then when I did, I noticed the blessings keep coming. I said, hold on, that is a thing. I applied that principle and
Absolutely.
I still apply that today.
Yeah.
Before, excuse me, before I get paid, and every month I say to God, lay on my heart who it is,
Yes.
and He continuously lay on my heart
Yes.
who to give the monies to, and that's what I do. And like you said, with that principle, persons always say, "Oh, but Oprah Winfrey is rich. She don't believe in God, but Oprah gives."
She gives.
And because she gives, that principle
Applies to her.
applies to her.
Yeah.
Same with Bill Gates and all of the persons who
Mm-hmm.
see out there giving, or even the drug dealers, they give to the community, whether we want to agree or not. And you see monies come back or
The
blessings come back
principle
because
still
of the principle,
stands.
whether you're
Yeah.
Christian or not.
Or not. Yeah. There's um you know, I'm not gonna touch on that too much because I agree with you. But I'm gonna leave that alone. I like you said, I don't mind sharing because my show was not a controversial one. However, I believe in the truth, and I also believe in other people's whatever their stance may be. Whatever they agree on doing or whatever part of the Bible, that's on them. When I have guests on the show, they share and then they use biblical references, and I just allow them to share. So I'm not really going to share my views, but I could honestly say it's not controversial. I don't think what you're doing is controversial because now there are people who are coming out and sharing the reason why the way that you do things and the method that you use is far more greater, in the eyes of God versus XYZ, right? So we leave that there. How can individuals stay motivated and disciplined in their budgeting and financial planning efforts over the long term? And the reason why I ask that question is because come on, we Bahamians, if you're not disciplined enough, you're gonna try to take one little $20 because you hear the ice cream truck coming through your corner, and you might want to go get something, or you know what I mean. So there are reasons why someone, if you do not have discipline, may go and into the little envelope and use it for something other than what they have it allocated for. So how can they well, I guess we use the term discipline, unless there's something else that can be done that can help them over the long term with their planning.
But for me, if in front of me, I ain't gonna lie, I want to touch and spend
Oh,
it. So
gee.
I try to automatically take it to the credit union.
Mhm.
Another thing that if I said this year I want to save $10,000, I know once I see that $10,000, I'm gonna buy something for myself.
Mhm.
Whether it's go on a little trip with the kids or go to a nice restaurant. So look at that as the ultimate goal. What is the ultimate goal? Once you save the certain amount of monies, and that right there should encourage you to continue saving, because okay, if I go take that $20 to run behind the ice cream truck, I won't be able to take this nice vacation at the end of the year, or I won't be able to go and David, you want me to buy what I want, or because
Mhm.
it's we have to treat ourselves for each milestone that we reach.
Yeah.
Now it's not about, oh, save, 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 and don't enjoy life. No,
Yeah.
that's foolishness.
Yeah.
My birthday just went in October. I had a good time.
My birthday,
You
come
know, I,
again.
I, I had
Mhm.
a good time.
Yeah.
So, but I prepared for that from the year before,
Yeah.
because I know my birthday is coming.
Coming up.
And it's so bad. My household, my daughter starts it off with the 2nd of September. My son is the 1st of October, then I'm on the 6th.
Mm.
So I have, so
Back to back.
that's a rough
Back
period
to
for me.
back.
Exactly.
You understand? That's a rough
Oh,
period
no.
Back to
financially.
back.
That's a
Yeah.
rough period.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt my pocket because I save up to begin the year. I don't spend money on basically anything because I know September my baby's she would want to do something.
Yeah.
October my son is want to do something. Then it's me. Like I gotta
You
Yeah.
gotta love yourself.
Yeah.
Reward yourself. Rewarding
Exactly.
is great.
Reward yourself
Yes.
for the milestone that you've
Yes.
accomplished.
Now we know Christmas coming up.
Oh yeah.
Everybody want to buy the latest Jordans and the all these different things,
Outfit for the
the outfits
parties.
for the because it's party every week. All right, yeah, the weave they done get on lock, because Black Friday coming up before Christmas. Then you get all the kids' toys you will get. So, what advice can you give the parents, knowing that they now have this information from you? How can they apply having to budget for moments and festivities like Christmas season, etc.
So again, it all goes back to that conversation that we need to have with our kids. Not because at Christmas means that you need to live your best life.
Mm.
I am into gifts. I give my kids gifts for Christmas, but I let them know this is the budget, and Well, my daughter, I used to swing over the Starbucks gift cards because she likes Starbucks. So I used
And
to go
she
and,
okay with that?
And she got
she is,
plenty.
you understand? So every time she ready, she go and to her, she appreciate it
Yeah.
because I understand that all year round, mommy still treat me to little things here and there.
Yeah.
And for Christmas, I put that in the stuff, or put some
Yeah.
candy in there, put one little $2 in that,
She rich.
and
That's
she's
it there.
grateful.
She happy.
So we have to have that conversation with our children because then they will realize you don't need to have an iPad for Christmas. You don't need to have the latest $200 Jordans because Christmas is a long month, and after you already spent all that money, then what? So have the conversation with your kids. Have the conversation, the honest conversation with yourself. You don't have to buy a gift for everybody. Why? Just so you could be considered the best son in the family because you want to buy a gift for everybody and the children and the grand. That don't make any sense.
And
So
teach
when are
them
we
how to
gonna
save as
start
well.
Exactly.
normalizing the fact that you don't, like she said, you
You
don't
don't have
have
to
to
buy-
give gifts for
You
everyone.
don't.
You
So
don't.
what can be done other than, you just give a hug, Merry Christmas? What can you do? Or maybe perhaps preparing at home gifts, like little things that
That's
you
very
have
true.
from the heart, gifts from the heart.
That's it.
Yeah.
And there's so much usable things that you could buy on AliExpress. If your budget for Christmas, my budget for Christmas is $500.
And that $500 goes towards gifts, or that's
My two
everything for the
kids.
month. Well,
My two
your
kids.
that's it.
That's it. I don't buy a gift for nobody else. Now, if
Well,
I have my little boo,
that's still
I'll
plenty.
buy
Now
a
the
gift for
boo
my
needs
boo.
something.
That's still plenty. 500 is still a
No,
lot.
but see,
For 2 kids?
considering
Yes.
no, but like I said, considering when I say that $500, let's say for example the Starbucks, and if we go to a Christmas dinner, they get something to like basic. So when you
it's
look at
all encompassing,
ev-
not just gift.
no, not just gift.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Okay.
everything.
Everything. The little dinners and all that put
Exactly.
together.
Whole- yeah.
So that's my budget. I don't because December is a long month,
It
so
sure
you
is.
still have to stick to your budget. I
Yeah.
still stick to my budget.
Yeah.
In December now, that's where the stamps come in. I save my stamps all year.
Oh, me too, child.
So
yeah.
December.
Well, I lie. I just give mine to my mommy. Them.
Oh no,
I
anybody
don't-
know?
No, they need it.
Okay.
That's a
Okay.
need. That's not
Okay.
just
All right.
a.
That's
I
your
have
way
it to
of
give.
giving
That's
your
a
alms.
need.
That's fine.
So that's what I do.
For me, I don't use my stamps at all during the year.
Mhm.
December, I go into the store and I everything that I need because December is a long month. I've been working for government now 17 years.
Mhm.
December is
long month.
It's a long month.
So for me, if I splurge for Christmas to please you, where does that leave me
Yes.
till the end of January?
Because January is rough.
Listen, so for me, the stamps, I use the stamps and that usually give me like about $200 to $300.
Yeah.
So that's grocery, that's stuff.
That's you.
That's there. The money that I would have saved for the 500, and I take in consideration too. My kids might want to travel, so that $500 will cover the airline ticket if they have to go to Abaco or Grand Bahama, and
Mhm.
all of that basically is within that. So you just save and you stick to your budget, and you don't go. We don't have to buy gifts for everybody.
Let's talk about. I know this may not be out of your expertise, but let's talk about the light, the bills with utilities. I guess we could talk about you personally because everyone have that different things. So, for instance, I'm bringing BPL on the show in December because I have
Listen
a word
to
or two
me.
for them. I mean, not a word or two, good words, just seasonal words, Arnett. But they're coming because I want us to have we need this. We need the knowledge to know how to save with our utility bills. All right. She promised me, Arnett, to have someone in December. So next month, God's willing, we're gonna have a BPL representative to talk about how we can save on our utility bills. But what do you do to save on utility bills?
But it's obvious what I do in working because PPL still hitting me
Oh,
hard. PPL still hitting me hard every month. You could turn the central air off. You could, they say, pull out the plugs. You could do all of that. And BPL is still going to charge you. So for me, what I do is, we already know that BPL is going to. This year was ridiculous. This year was
the
crazy.
summer was crazy.
What I do is, whenever I could put on the bill, I put on the bill. So, like I said, I eat at home and I carry food. So if I save, let's say $200 additional in my salary a month, I carry that to BPL.
BPL.
You have to give it to BPL. So it's really nothing you could do. There's anything you can do with
Mhm.
that. I would like to listen to that show, as it
Yeah.
Mhm.
relates to what they say to do, because we're
Yeah.
doing it and you're still getting the expensive
And see, the
bills.
Yeah.
problem with it is that you're not saving based on your usage. That fuel surcharge is what's killing everybody.
Exactly.
So you could cut down, you could change your light bulbs to the LEDs, and you can do all the necessities. But at the end of the day, that's not determining what your bill is. That fuel surcharge is what's been killing everybody. Why is it my fuel surcharge is more than my actual bill?
Oh,
That
you
is
could
that
we
is
have that you save
crazy.
that question there
See?
because we
Yeah,
can make sure you ask that question
yeah.
to the
It don't
representative.
make
My
sense.
kids go for the summer. My daughter, so she usually leaves, let's say the last week in June until the end of August. So I'm home alone. I work 9 to 5, so no
Mm.
one is home in the day.
Yeah.
And my light bill in the summer is double what it would be when
Yes.
the child is home.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
obvious it's not a problem of what you're
Usage.
using,
Right.
your
Mm-mm.
usage. It's your surcharge and everything
Yeah.
else. So there's really nothing. All of us basically tied up
Right.
with
With
BPL.
BPL.
Yeah.
But what about other things? Like for instance, do you pay the entire bill? Let's say cable bill
Yeah.
is like
I
two
pay
hundred
the
dollars a month.
zero.
Do you pay
All
the
of
zero?
my bills I
Right.
pay.
Because if you know to certain places, I think cable is one of them. So if you don't pay the entire thing, or if you miss a month, if you are late, they give you a $5
$5. BTC
thing.
does it now
So
too.
Yeah.
BC doing
Yes,
now?
ma'am.
Oh shoot.
So see, it goes back to what I said about sitting down with your salary
Mm-hmm.
and separating what it is that you have to pay your bills. I pay off my bills to zero, but besides BPL,
Mm-hmm.
everything is cable is zero, phone is zero, everything is zero.
Mm-hmm.
And then because you have to take in consideration, you don't know what the next month holds,
No.
and you don't want to have an emergency. And like you said, you forget to pay your
Mm-hmm.
cable, and then you
Mm-hmm.
end up with a $5 charge, and you end up with a $10 charge because
Exactly.
it goes from that 85 now to what 170, and
Exactly.
you're
And
trying to catch up.
right. I notice I what I've been trying to do too is and mind you, my case a little different because I live alone.
Mm-hmm.
So but I keep my bills in credit.
Hmm.
I keep my bills in credit. When BPL went up on my bill, I was hot because my credit went away real quick.
Hmm.
And I was like, nah, I need to go work harder to get it back
Yeah.
And
in
yeah,
credit so
In
that
credit.
because at the end of the day, if something happens and I catch a flat tire, so I have to go buy new tires. I had that extra cushion. I say, well, I don't necessarily have to put anything on BPL this month because I could use that money to
hmm
go and get a tire, and I'm already in the green, so I can miss 1 month. But it just it's like BPL. It's like the
and that's
bills
where the
just
emergency fund comes in. That's
yeah.
something that Dave Ramsey is big on. He said you should try to save at least 3 to 6 months
Six
worth of
months.
expenses.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Because when you look at, and of course, the average person might not be able to save that in a year,
Mm-hmm.
but you can work towards
Work
that
towards it.
in 2 years, maybe
Mm-hmm.
3 years. And what it does is, in the event that you have loss of wages, you won't be frustrated because you know that this emergency fund is
It's
there.
right there.
So you start with 1,000, and then you work your way maybe to 5,000,
Mm-hmm.
then 10,000, and that
Mhm.
money is just there for emergencies.
Emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about then, because we didn't. You started to talk to cover this. Now, like I said, I've only seen them because I'm the one that order them for my mom on Amazon. But these wallets,
Mhm.
right? And then she'll like send me these uh pictures which she colors in with markers and stuff. You could print a couple of these for me, please. I love her. I love her. And so I print them for her. I purchase whatever items she needs. She liked the markers and she liked the little folder things or whatever. So talk to us about that. Different folks for different strokes. Because you have some people who'll be like, well, I don't need to spend all that money on that. I even think she have that book, the Dave Ramsey. I think I ordered that before too. How can people start off? I think you said this with just envelopes because
Mhm.
envelopes only for like what $5,
Yeah.
$3. So if you don't want to purchase all those little shenanigans, you could go
Mhm.
ahead
Yes.
with the
And get
little envelopes and
from
then
the
just read
store.
them. Now
Yes.
this is safety purposes here, so I have to be very careful how I answer this. Do you keep the funds? Where do you keep the funds?
Credit union
That's for you.
for me.
But some people keep it in their home. Yeah. We
I,
don't
I would not
recommend that.
advise that. Being in law enforcement, I don't advise persons to keep any monies on them. Even
Right.
with me, I use debit cards. I rarely keep cash
Yeah.
on me. Because someone comes, unfortunately,
Absolutely.
and you
So how do you
lose.
do that then? So when you, for instance, because you get as a law enforcement officer, your funds are given to you in the bank.
Mhm.
So you take the funds out of the bank, or
I
you
transfer.
you
See, we
right,
have to utilize online banking. You know, COVID would have not introduced online banking
Right.
to us, but that was something that we strayed away from for a long time.
Mhm.
You could use your online banking. See, remember now, once you have an idea with your salary, even if you don't have a set government salary, you have an idea of what your paycheck is going to be when it comes to you. Most businesses today pay you online. You set up where you have your transfers and you transfer your money to the different places
right. Okay, because
versus
I
taking, because some persons really don't live in secure places,
no, they
secure
don't.
residence,
No,
and it's a disadvantage. I mean, because you could say, okay, go and buy a safe, but then what? You know,
that does. Yeah, people still find a way. They will
exactly.
still
So
find a way.
I feel like putting it in the credit union
Okay,
is safe.
it's safe.
Unless you, I mean, I don't know, unless you have someplace at work you could put in your desk, but to me it's safe.
Right there.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
if you're not into credit unions, if you want to put it in the bank, put it in the bank, and that's where you keep it.
Mhm.
When you have easy access to it, it causes a problem. You
Exactly,
get
because you're gonna
tempted.
spend it.
But not only
Because not
that, like I
everyone's
wouldn't
gonna be.
recommend putting it in the bank because, like you said, you saving all this money and you have funds allocated specifically, and then the bank comes and they take out their
But
this
it
or they take
depends,
out their
because like
that.
for me, of course, I keep my grocery. I keep out my cash for my grocery.
Right.
I keep out my cash
Gas.
for gas.
Mhm.
I keep out my cash for the wash house. Everything else, I
Yeah.
See.
And like I
All right,
said
so let's
earlier,
take a
when we
quick
come
break,
back,
real quick, and then we'll go ahead with
Mhm.
our last set of ideas. Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's take a break. Go ahead. All right. What you saying, Dessa?
because like I said earlier, when you have those bills, you could actually pay them into the companies that it's due
Yes, you
to.
can from the
You don't
bank.
have
Yeah.
to just transfer it and leave it in the bank either. You actually, when you get paid, you have those automatic transfers already
I don't
set
like
up in
them
your
though.
online.
Yeah.
I don't like
They
the
work
I
automatic
make
very
one.
them things
well,
work.
No.
very well.
That's what I do. I send everything when
Automatic?
I sit down payday. When my salary is posted to my account, I pay everything. I pay BPL,
I don't
I pay
even
my
do
rent,
that. I
I
have
pay
them
Cable
set up.
Bahamas,
Already
everything.
automatic?
I
I
have
don't
them
like that.
automatically
I
set
don't
up.
like that.
Everything I have sent. That's how I
And
do
it's
it.
But
easy
maybe
to
I should
stop
try
it as
that then.
well.
Yeah.
Or
It's easy to stop it as well because you're not
I had a
going into the
question.
bank to do it. You're doing it online.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
I had a question and I can't remember. Oh, let me just read what someone said. They said another saving tip. If you are a person who love different hairstyles and have the means to invest in lace front wigs, get 1 unit every other month and just change the color and style.
It's still expensive every other
I
month.
mean,
It's
I don't know because
almost $300.
exactly they
Child,
unless you
I
wait for
wear mine 5 and 6 months.
listen unless
I-
you wait for like the sales that like Black Friday sales or
because
whatever
that's
you can get 1 or 2
expensive.
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
Expensive, and then
expensive
you
every
Yeah.
other.
And
That's
depending on
expensive.
your budget and what you have to offer.
yeah.
Yeah, so some people can do it and some people can't because you spend at least $200-300.
Yeah.
Yeah. The name of the book is The Total Money
Money
Makeover
Makeover
from
by
Dave
Dave
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Thank you so much, Joan Precious Gem Anderson. So
Total
when we
Money
come back
Makeover.
on, let me see how much time we have left. You're so awesome. It's 7:18. So when we come back, we want to talk about how to actually do the planner,
Mhm.
how to do the budgeting system with the paper. And this is for this. This is for that. This is for that. That is for that. Because it could be overwhelming for someone who just started. Okay, in 30
So I brought an
seconds.
example.
Good. Ooh, I love that. All right, so let's see if the camera can pick that up by the time we do that. So we can help people and maybe we can find out how persons can actually how people can get that. I don't know if that's yours specifically.
Yeah, I made it. So you can give it for free. I made
Okay.
my number, and then the budget book that I sell, but they can find me on TikTok. I
Right,
have
then
that
we're gonna
information
talk
on
about
TikTok.
that as well. Yeah. Welcome back. Guess what? I hope you're all getting these things. I hope you're all writing and taking notes because we have learned so much, so much today in the show with Garnett and how to save and what to save up on and when to spend. And as far as grocery shopping is concerned, we learn how to teach our children a little bit more about discipline, right? Teach them waste not, want not. You only get what you need from the grocery store. Other things are not necessary, especially if you're living now like how we are in this country where groceries are increasing. Basically, I would say every week sometime. One if it goes sometimes it go 1 or 2 cents up. I'd be like, hold on, I just been there last week. How you get from 5.98 to 5.99? You understand? So those little things make a big difference. And of course, if you can just know how to budget and how to allocate what goes where every month when you get paid, it'll make your spending so much easier, and you'll be so much more disciplined in knowing how to allocate funds. So now, in this last few minutes that we have with Garnett, we want to allow her or ask her to talk to us about how to actually do this budgeting with the planner. All right. So let's say the average pay is what, $2,500 a month. 25. Can I use that figure?
Yeah.
$2,500 a month. So if you could just show a little bit of the planner that you have on the camera, they would be able to see it.
Go back to the side you're on. Go back.
Let's go closer to the camera.
Closer.
Yeah, right there.
Okay, so this is an example of the planner that I use.
Can you zoom in on her only?
You could talk.
Okay, so this is an example of the planner that I use. You can actually just get this online once you go to Google and put budget planner. So what it does is to the top you see where you write all of your income. If you have your salary, if you have your side hustle, if you have whatever benefits that's coming to you, you write that and you calculate that. To the bottom, you write your expenses. So now by doing that, what you do is you give yourself a visual of what it is that your expenses is, and it helps you to understand, am I living above my means or am I living below my means? What I did with a friend of mine, if you look over here with expenses, I said for 1 week, write down everything that you spent. And they came back to me. It's like, Garnett, I wasting money. The little TikTok, TikTok here, the soda there, all of these stuff are monies that you're wasting daily on things that you really didn't need. So that was able to help her to cut back because she started to write down all of her expenses every day. So what this does is it helps you to see. And by seeing, you have a better understanding of, okay, I could adjust this here. I could adjust that there. I need to bring in more income here. I need to stop spending money over there. So this is what I use monthly. I print it out and I use it to calculate. Also, on the other side, what I have is my meal planner. So I plan my meals. I know that, okay, if for this week, they have special on chicken, they have special on shrimp, they have special on all of these stuff. I know, okay, these are the items that I'm going to purchase this week because remember that the special comes out on Thursday. So if you purchase on Thursday, you really don't start your week until Sunday, and you're able to plan your meals. And once you do that, you'll see that, okay, I saved $5 here, I saved $20 here, I saved $50 here. I could now take that money and put that towards saving. So this is basically what I use, and this has been helping me to come across extra monies that I didn't know I had that was leaking out from my bucket, and therefore you end up saving more.
Okay, so how can we apply this to couples now? You want to make sure that you and your significant other, you have that conversation, and I guess it's the same thing. You get to find out what their salary is. You have your salary up, combine it, and then you do the same thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it goes back, like I say, to the conversation, because if you're working together towards a particular goal as a couple, then you would know that you have to make sacrifices. He would know that he have to make sacrifices. And then we come together for the ultimate goal that we have. So say, for example, you might decide that you want to pay down on your mortgage or you want to buy a car. Okay, well, I see where you have this loose $300 here a month, or you have this loose $200 here a month. That's $500 when we combine that together. So it's all about sacrifices.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. It's a sacrifice, but delayed gratification is very important. And you have to make it's a mindset. You have to say, hey, this is what I want. Let me sacrifice today so I can enjoy the benefits of it tomorrow.
Budgeting is truly an art.
It is.
It is.
It is truly an art. And I am just excited because I have never done this strategy. My mom keep on saying, "Good girl, come do this, come this with me." And da-da-da. My very first of anything will be this Tuesday with my group who's doing the challenge. And so I'm excited to do this system now because of what you're saying, because I want to get out of debt. I want us to get out of debt, my husband and I, as well, you know, so that we could be able to beat this system and we could be debt free like Garnett, right? And so I want to continue obviously to follow you. And then of course you told us about Dave Ramsey, the Total Money Makeover book. And what are some other books or people that people like myself can follow to get more information about learning how to budget?
Well, YouTube has so much.
Who do
Off the
you
top
follow?
of my head, well, Dave Ramsey is, to be honest, Dave Ramsey is it. Well,
Yeah.
Robert Kawasaki, I follow some of his stuff.
Mhm.
But Dave Ramsey for me is, he's a bit harsh,
Mhm.
but
He's a lot harsh.
he gives you reality.
Mhm.
That's what it is. So Dave Ramsey is the person for me. But there's so much different persons on YouTube. So much. Another thing that I find works too, if you purchase books, there's so much books out there
Yeah.
as it relates to saving, and a lot of persons really follow Dave Ramsey. They might not admit it, but when you listen to the principles that they have, because this envelope cash system actually came from Dave Ramsey.
Mhm.
So a lot of persons follow. So I would say start with him, and as you begin with him, you trickle on into other persons. So I will endorse Dave Ramsey as your number one, and then you go from there.
We didn't finish this though. The $2,500 you get per month. How much money you put in gas? How much money you put?
But it all
in
depends on
bills?
you. See,
Yeah.
because for me, my gas is $150 a month.
Mhm.
That has been my gas for. What happened?
I drive in the wrong car.
Yeah, I
Oh
have. I
yes,
have.
ma'am, you are.
I have a little bubble. I have a Japanese car,
Shit.
and but see, for me, because of my runs, I could use $150. Your runs is different from mine, so it depends on your runs, and then you have to sit back and say, okay, do I really need to make these excessive runs? And then by doing that, then you say, okay, I could cut back $50 or $100 from that particular expense, because when I look at it, I'm living above my means on that particular thing. It's the same thing with your grocery. You sit down and you look at what there are percentages that they have, but for me, I don't look at this percentage or that percentage, but because everybody income is different. You just sit down and figure what is reasonable, and when you have that honest conversation with yourself, you can see that, okay, I really don't need to spend $600 a month on grocery because I could cut back. I don't need to spend $500 on gas because all these extra runs I use in carrying suit, this place, that place, all I could say no because everybody want to ride, but nobody giving you $1, $2 for gas.
Listen, I like you. She was saying no all day.
Yeah,
all day.
you have to say no.
all day. And guess what? She debt free. So I must need to go take
No,
up
you
that
have
mantle
to say.
and keep on saying no as
No.
well.
You realize everybody calling you for a ride, nobody saying here this one $10 for gas.
Put me
So
gas.
you have to say no. And it's not being mean.
No.
It's just you have to
Prioritizing
preserve and
yourself.
prioritize for
And
you
if
and your
they know
family.
you and what you do, they should have a better understanding of how you roll, right?
Listen, they don't even ask. I can't do it.
Boundaries.
And the thing about it, some person might be like, oh, you can't be like that because you might need somebody today or tomorrow. Yes, I agree. I still help my family members. I still help my friends. But certain things, it's no.
It's a no.
It's a no.
It's a no, that's all.
It's a no.
Okay.
But even God tells us no.
Yeah.
So who are you to want to help everybody and be
And no is a
Santa for
complete
everybody?
sentence.
That's it.
That's
No is
it.
a complete
No.
sentence.
Period.
Period.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we're gonna wrap up on the show, but I want to find out from you if you have any closing remarks, something that there is something, but I'm gonna ask you on Facebook and right after we cut off from radio. But do you have anything that you would want to inform us all? Maybe something that you have not said before that you think that we need to know.
No, I just want to encourage persons to start small. You know, budgeting is a lot, it's overwhelming, and it's uncomfortable because it causes you to change your way of habits now,
Yeah.
and it's hard. But start small and be encouraged because, especially because the show is towards females, like we know more than males that there comes a time when you might need that extra $2 and it makes you feel bad when you don't have it if your child needs it. Or I can speak from my profession in law enforcement. You have a lot of females who are being abused and they only stay in situations because they cannot afford financially to leave.
Yes.
So it's you have to sit back and have that conversation with yourself and you have to make the sacrifice.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Your friends might be with their nails done. Your friends might be with their hair done. There's so much things, but when you look at it, it's like I have to make the sacrifice today so that I can live peacefully tomorrow. I have to make the sacrifice today so my kids can live a better life than I
Yes.
live. I have to make the sacrifice today so that I could be able to help somebody else.
I love that.
And
Go
mhm.
ahead. No,
No,
you go.
and so that's what it is. Nothing in life is easy. So it's about understanding that you have to make that sacrifice and just make it.
Make the
Make
sacrifice.
the sacrifice.
And guess what? You don't have to look like a dry conch, you know.
No,
You don't have to look run
Simple
down and beat
things.
up and dry up, you know. You could do your own hair.
that's it.
I listen, I swear by YouTube University. I've learned so much. I do my girls' hair from the different demonstrations that are on there. It's very rare that I take them. When I do, there's a lady that comes to our house that does their hair for them, but I wash and treat their hair myself. And then I let her braid or whatever have you. And then I would leave the braids in their hair for about a month. And then I go ahead and I do, and I work like that. And then with us as ladies, I mean, I personally don't recommend it because I feel like getting shamed. But you have some people who purchase press on nails.
No child.
And
People are afraid
this
of
one time I tried that. And I was at the dinner table eating, and the nail flipped on the other side. I was like, no, Jesus, not again. But whatever might work for you, you might have them super, super, super glue. But there are people who say that they swear by the
Yeah,
clip-on
it works for
nails,
them, yeah.
and it works for
It
them,
works for
and they have
them.
never been to the beautician or the nail
That's
tech
it.
since. You can do your hair yourself.
Yeah.
You can do your nails yourself. You have some people who sew. I
Yeah.
could call her name right now. She can't tell you the last time she been in a clothing
Yes.
store because she sews her own
Sews her own.
clothing.
Wow.
All right. So you have to find ways to work for you and cut back on things. This is the year now that we honestly do not need everything we see.
No.
This is the year
But
that we
COVID
don't have
taught
to
us
pay,
that as
and
well.
COVID
But we
taught
forgot.
us
We did without a whole lot.
a
We
whole
went
lot.
right back
A whole
into the
lot.
whole way of thinking.
And then we
though
went back
forgot.
into the
Yeah.
splurging. So we need to cut back on that. And it
back.
isn't. It's okay to reward yourself, but even like Garnett says, you should have a budget even for
Budget.
rewarding yourself. All right, that bag is unnecessary if it's not in your budget. Okay, we're trying to get out of that. We're
Out of
trying to break this generational curse of
Exactly.
poverty here,
Exactly.
because this go deep in the Bahamian
Yeah,
culture.
yeah.
Going from paycheck to paycheck
Paycheck to
unnecessarily. Women, yeah, I go in there. Women who are sleeping with men just to get money, just to put food
yes.
on the table. We don't need to succumb to these
No.
things. We have, every one of us have a gift, and I said this earlier, in us, a talent in us to use it and to apply it to gain funds.
Yes.
Use it. And if you don't know what it is, ask God to reveal it to you. He'll show it to you. Whatever it is that you have, he's going to increase it if you know how to apply his principles too, by the way, because we didn't want to forget that.
Nope.
You can't expect to just say you're going to give. I mean, that you're going to do things and then don't give.
Yeah.
I totally recommend and I stand behind
Giving.
giving to others, especially for those who cannot return or give back to you what you've loaned to
And
them
this is the
or
month
given
to
to them.
start. We're in Thanksgiving, so this is the month.
Absolutely.
Start
Absolutely.
to
So
have it
start
from
with
now.
that. Start with that. Start with that. I guarantee you that the principle, I've applied this from the time I knew about giving, that it works. Never have I seen the righteous forsaken. Never. Nor his seed begging bread. Why? Because the righteous know how to give to people. All right. So I'm going to close on that. Garnett, can you tell us how we can reach you for further information? Can you talk to us about where we can find you on social media, etc.?
So I am on TikTok.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Woohoo. So TikTok is usually the platform that I use,
Yeah.
and it's Tidbits of Garnett, TIDBITS of Garnett, GARNETTE. So TikTok is where I do of my videos because it's so much easier.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of videos on TikTok, so you can find me there. I'm also on Facebook, Garnette Mills, but TikTok is the platform that I use
Okay.
for my budgeting and stuff. And I'm hoping in the new year to get into YouTube. A lot of persons have asked me to, but I can't figure out all of the logistics.
It's not that bad. I'll help you out.
You'll have to help me. Yeah. So hopefully in the new year I will go, because persons see you budgeting, but they still don't know the everyday of
Yeah,
it. So
the
I want to go
intricacies.
into more of
Yeah.
the everyday of it
Yeah.
to try to help and encourage persons.
I
So
love
yeah,
it.
so look out for that in the new year. It'll be most likely on the Tidbits of Garnett also. And TikTok is where I'm at.
All right. So say the name of the TikTok that you're on again.
Tidbits,
Tidbits.
TIDBITS of Garnett. What I'll do, I'll link it under this live. I'll
Okay.
just go on TikTok, get it, and link it.
All right. I think Odessa going to put that in.
Let me delete what in there.
I just
don't know
did
what
that because I
is.
see you put FOF Garnett. I'm like, what is that?
It's odd because I can't see what I'm typing from.
All right. So
Yeah, so I'll just link
as
it
she,
in. Yeah.
awesome. Now, if you need coaching in any area of your life, including premarital coaching, knowing how to restore your marriage, how to stand for your marriage, knowing how or trying to figure out how to organize yourself so that you can budget, feel free to go on my website, www.yourlanelifecoaching.com, and schedule a booking. Of course, I'd love to help you improve your life and your relationship. Anything to do with having to organize, having to plan, having to know how do I get from this place to get somewhere else. I want to live a better life. I feel stuck. If you're feeling stuck in any area of your life, go on to www.yourlanelifecoaching.com and I will be able to assist you. I am, of course, Trishan Hanna or Coach Trish Hanna, a life and marriage coach, and I'm happy to assist you for premarital as well. I'm happy to assist you in that area. Now we're going to close out today's show. I want you to know today's show was brought to you by Airborne Freight and Cargo Services, John Shoe Store and Accessories, Your Lane Life Coaching, Bahama Odds and Ends Party Supplies, Tylenol, Cold and Flu, distributed by Lowe's Wholesale, and John's Careware. I want to thank special thanks to my producer DZ, of course, Adassa, who is everything. She wears so many hats. And Your Lane Life Coaching, she and Your Lane Talk Show, she is phenomenal, as you can tell. I mean, she has these questions that are just, she's just engaging. She gets water for my guests. She types in stuff when DZ's like, I don't know, when I looking at something else, and she's just so efficient, and I give God thanks for her and her space here and Your Lane Talk Show. Thank you so much for the Facebook listeners. Y'all don't go because I have one more question for Garnett that, of course, I want to share. I want her to share on something that I saw on her TikTok. And so thank you anyway, Garnett. Thank you so much for being a part of Your Lane Talk Show. It was fun, very informative. And thank you to my continued listening audience. You've been real, and I am grateful for your continued support. All right, so now I want you all to go to Coach Trish Hanna on YouTube to go watch the previous shows. Please like and subscribe when you do go on there. All right, so of course you can go and like Your Lane Life Coaching as well on Facebook so that you can be further informed for every time we do go live, you'll be able to watch us. All right, so next week's show is entitled Greek Life Unveiled, the spiritual risks of pledging. That's going to be controversial because that's a big thing here. All right, so my guest is actually coming in. Her name is G. Renee Pixton Arnold, and she will be sharing to help open our eyes about the risks of connecting yourself with the Greek life. All right, sororities, fraternities, etc. I want you to come with an open mind, even if you are in a fraternity or in a sorority. Still come so that you can at least hear the information. Of course, anything else after that, that's on you. All right, but I'm telling you that this is a big thing. This is a big thing. People are coming out of these various sororities and fraternities because their eyes have been opened and they've been seeing what they call the light. All right, so you want to listen and tune into that. That's why you need to go try out like Your Lane Life Coaching on Facebook, so that you, in case you forget, it pops up on Facebook. Ding! Trishan is on live. All right. Coach Trish is on live. So go ahead and do just that. So thank you so much once again, everyone who's been tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this time and this session. We got to have Garnett back. And of course, there was a host of other people who were recommended for this particular topic. So if we don't get a chance to connect with Garnett, we have others that we want to hear their insight. But Garnett's insight was so informative. I learned a lot. Did you learn anything, DZ? DZ said he learned something. Odessa definitely learned. I learned that I need to get it together as a parent and try hard to teach my children. But if I put on this plate or on this table, you eating that. All right? Yes. And use your school belly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
All right. So thank you so much, everyone. And I hope you have a blessed Sunday. Until next time, blessings.
Bye.
So Garnett, Let me just wait a little while and then good. All right, so be off on the radio. So now I just want to ask you real quick. I think yes, it was you. You were in Walmart or Target, and you had these. You got little things that you put in. Was it you?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a Walmart.
like
My
Walmart.
toiletry bag.
Yes,
Yes,
I did
toiletry
that
bag.
last week when I was in Atlanta. I
And
thought
how
of
was
you.
it?
I loved it. I
Okay.
still and that I would keep in my suitcase. I don't even have to take it out because that's
Mhm.
something I do. So
Exactly.
can you talk about little things like that, even when we're traveling, things that we can do to save? And time was upon us. That's why I didn't really speak about that too much there. But talk to us about how you could get the little dollar stuff and go to different places where you could save, even when we travel.
Let's start with saving because what I
Mhm.
do is American money will come to my hand. I put it in the jar.
Automatically.
Automatically, that goes in the jar.
Yeah.
So you would have seen on that trip, I went in Sephora. That was my splurge
Yes.
because the American money was my splurge
Specifically
money.
for Sephora.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I spent it in Sephora, and then I went to. I like Walmart. I like Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
So you can
Oh, I
pick
love
up
Dollar
little
Tree.
trinkets and stuff
Mhm.
and things that you could use, even stuff that you bring back home. You could go in Dollar Tree and Walmart. See, I think our biggest issue is we believe that everything has to be name brand. Mind you, there are some stuff that I have to have
Yeah,
name
because you
brand.
want to keep it and make want it to
Exactly.
last.
But there
Yeah.
are other little stuff where you could go, you could shop in the dollar shop, you
Mhm.
could shop at Walmart, and you could pick up these little stuff. So my toiletry bag, that's something that a lot of things that I do is stuff that was instilled with me for a young age.
Mhm.
So growing up, we always had a toiletry bag
Mhm.
for when you travel or when you sleep out. So you just buy little stuff, put the little stuff in. Or say, for example, we know that deodorant or toiletries are expensive. Yeah, you bring them things back
Of course.
with you. Why you load your bag down with shoes?
Yeah.
Put your little toiletries in it.
Yeah.
So what it does is if you know that there's 6 months left in the year, when you go away, buy your 6 deodorant, put in your bag.
Yes.
Buy whatever you need, you put in your bag and you bring it. So that helps you also with your budget
Saving.
because you won't have to go in the store and spend $6 for deodorant will cost $1.50 away or $2 away. So
Yeah,
you
when
just purchase your little stuff
the
and you bring it back.
feminine stuff and all of that.
And the
Yeah.
stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
For example, if you know what I find works too. Now this is just what I grew up
Mhm.
with. Everybody have their own toiletries that they use.
Yeah.
And you find that the toiletries last longer. So say for example, I bathe with a particular type of soap.
Mhm.
My daughter bathes with a different soap, and my son. So
Mhm.
when everybody now responsible for their stuff, so you find that the stuff lasts
A
longer.
little longer, yeah, because you have your stuff. You
You use your stuff, you use your stuff,
Right.
and it lasts longer. So there are little things that really just helps with
So what can
budgeting
we
in the
teach
long
our
run.
children now who may be at that age where they can understand? What are some things that we can teach them as mothers
To be
to, with
responsible,
as far as being
to
financially
be
prudent?
okay. For example, with me, with my daughter helps me bake.
Mhm.
She's 14. She's been helping me now for the past year and a half. That's her responsibility, and that's how I pay her. So I pay her. I mean, this child it's rough,
Mhm.
but I pay her $1 here and there to help. You
Yeah.
understand? But she understands because what used to happen with us growing up is we knew every year that we was going away.
Yeah.
So our uncles, we used to have to iron their clothes. We used to have to wash their clothes, and that was
Save a little
monies
something.
that
Yeah.
was given to us to save on top of the monies that we know that our parents were going to give
Mhm.
us.
Mhm.
So you start from now instilling that in them, and you teach them how to budget. My daughter, she has her bank account. She puts money on it. She takes money off, and so you just have that little conversation with them, and you would find that little children have good ideas. They have ideas of things that they want to do, but they don't come to us with it because we don't have the conversation.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let's put away the phones and let's sit down and actually have the conversation on, okay, this is ways you can save your lunch money. If I give you $50 a week for lunch money, try and save 20 out of it. And you would
Exactly.
find that they would
Exactly.
save
They
it.
would
Yeah.
save it.
Because kids like money. Kids
Mhm.
love to have their own money. So
Mhm.
you teach that to them from now. And you would realize that, boy, because when my kids go away, they pull out money. It's be like, well,
Where
where
does
that
come
money?
from? Yeah.
They
Yeah.
learn the
I
principles.
love it. You
And
ever
then you
thought
teach them
about
the
doing
principle.
a seminar or webinar or anything like that? No? Wouldn't that be another source of
Be on
income?
Facebook.
You still have Facebook?
Yeah. The
I've
Facebook is
never.
live.
I think my biggest issue is the logistics. Like I legit never really sat down to figure out.
Well, child,
That's my
I hope that
problem.
inspire you. Let that be a challenge,
Yeah, that's
Miss
my.
Mills.
And I have no problem giving information away
Yeah.
for free. It's just the whole. Listen, you know how I got on TikTok? Facebook had me banned for about 7
Audrey.
months, and I was like, why?
She
What would
is in
you use?
Facebook
I
jail.
have
You
no
gotta talk,
idea.
you gotta say it, you
Yeah,
gotta say it.
I have no idea.
Uh-huh.
So that's how I got all into posting on TikTok. Because I
Yeah.
was like, man, and that's how I got into the posting on TikTok thing because I was in Facebook jail for like most of the year.
Gee.
Yes. So for me, it's like I think I have to be forced to go the next direction or to go in that
Yeah, to
direction. So I
But
pivot.
need help. So
can I,
y'all help
yes,
me.
will help. But can I, honestly, I would recommend that you try that. It's a, you don't have to charge so much,
No,
probably
I wouldn't
25
even. I think for
or
the
whatever.
first couple sessions, I wouldn't even charge
Yeah,
because a lot of people really don't have it.
they need it.
You know,
They
and
need
I
that
and I
information.
and
Yeah.
I find that if you put a price tag on it, persons won't go at it because a lot of persons don't have it. You know, I and in my job I see it a lot. I see where you have females in particular, they really you have some who have it and they can spend the money on it, but you have some who really
Don't
don't
have
have
it.
it.
I understand.
You
I
have
get it.
some who really
But
don't.
in my profession, I find that people are more in tune and more susceptible to um following something because they're investing in it.
Yeah.
That's what, and that, and there are a lot of people and my colleagues be literally charge. And of course, I'm a giver as well. So if I know, if I discern, or if I have some type of intuition that it's a money challenge for you, then of course that's.
But of course, you can start at the basic.
Yeah.
You don't charge, and then for
gradually.
yeah,
Yeah. But I would highly recommend that you do that. And another idea, and this is for anyone who may want to decide to do this. Another idea is to do budgeting challenge or seminar for children or teenagers.
Well, that is my plan for the new year because when I had started with the budgeting earlier this year, that's how I got into the challenges that I made. One of my coworkers, she's like, Garnette, you have all the money. She's called me a rich coworker. She said, you have all the money. How me and you? And she has a husband. She said, how I have my husband and you didn't have no husband, you have more money than me. I said, but it's budgeted. So what I did is I started and she isn't continuing the challenge, and I could call her out on this. But I started it one friend. You understand, to help her. And I was like, you know what, let me just put it out there. And that's how I started selling it because it was something that I always did. So for me, it was like, okay, I see now that this is a thing that people interested in.
Yes.
So the beginning of this year, I actually working on some stuff now. The start for Christmas would includes the kids because like I said, my kids, especially my daughter, she saves.
Yes.
Now my son, you
know
how these fellas go, right?
But listen, because I encourage things like that whatever you need from me, I'm here. And then also for you to promote it for January, that you're welcome.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put some stuff together hopefully for Christmas so persons could give it. Because like for kids, we spend money on stuff that for the kids play with it once or twice unnecessary. So if you go along with the Starbucks card, shameless plug for Starbucks, you can put the saving challenge in it.
You know what? I was gonna call you out because I know exactly who the marketing person is for Starbucks. But we can by next week they'll be on our show. Let's go.
We could put the saving challenges in the little what do they call it? The stocking.
Right.
And they can start the new year off saving because these kids have more money than adults.
They sure do.
Their lunch money and stuff, so they could learn to save them. So that's something that I'm actually working on.
I love that. I love what you're doing, and thank you so much for teaching people like myself.
Yeah.
And who just need. All right. I need help with that, and it's not that when I say I don't, I just never really as much times as my mommy was. Trishan, try this. And I'm like, yeah, man, that just look like too much things to do. I gotta write this and I gotta write that and whatever. I ain't into that.
But do you like apps? Because Dave Ramsey has his app as well. Every dollar.
But see, my problem is I ain't putting it in every day. I'm not gonna sit down every day and put in the app what I spend.
For me, the app doesn't work because I'm not gonna do the everyday thing either. But I
would love to do the
you know what you can do.
I tried to save my receipts and say, okay, well, let me just write down everything. But then,
but you know what you can see. I was going to suggest that because I save receipts, and what I do is if you don't save the receipt, your notes and your phone, you start with November, and you write everything as you spend it, and then it gives you a visual. You'll be like, hold on, why did I spend $10 on lunch 4 days for the week? See, you're not realizing that you're doing it until you actually see it.
Yeah.
Or if you get a little notepad again from the food store and you take it and you put it in your purse, and every time you spend, you write it
there.
And then at the end of the week, you realize I waste $50
unnecessarily. Let's try that. So for those who are tuning in and listening, y'all, let's do that. That's our challenge.
So let's start tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow, everything that look at that's a no shame and do it.
And we can try. We could, if you try you and tag me, let's show what that we're writing it down, and you
Yeah.
will see exactly how you're wasting
How
your
you?
money.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, that's everything. That's
Because
the
you want your cow
gas.
salad,
That's
you want
One of
this.
the that's one of the good things about having your debit card and spending less cash. You have a record of everything on your bank
But
account too.
that's good. But I don't. This is my mom told me. She
Mhm.
taught me. She said, "Don't go in the food store with your debit card." She said, "Go in if, with $200, so you know for a fact that anything over that you ain't gonna spend."
So you
Because
know
with
what
my
you-
debit, and she's so right. Because this is
Just
me.
don't do it
If
with
it in
credit
my
card.
meal, if the things come with the $240 I paying, I'm gonna do it
Yeah,
with
you
my
Yeah.
debit.
pay it.
But yeah, you know, I'm trying to put things back. So I see make your middle envelope, and I just put back there. Hold on, that. No, no,
She
no,
Yeah.
she's
no, and
teaching
that's
me to
it.
do that. I
Yeah.
used to be ashamed, but she said, "Honey, no. If you
No, you
have
know,
two hundred
shame
Trying
dollars,
in
to work with
this.
nobody.
you
They
get two
ain't
hundred
helping
dollars
you
worth
pay
of
your
stuff, and
bills.
if it
Yeah.
goes 201, you put that $1 thing back,
Yeah.
and then you go out to store because you know you spend only two
And
hundred
you know what it
dollars.
does too? It gives you a sense of it
Hey
gives you a good
Yolanda,
feeling when
A
you know that
sense
you
of
could help people.
accomplishment.
yeah,
Yeah, like God using you to help people. Because like I say, for me, one of the things that I do is I put aside my 10%,
hmm
but he always lays it on my heart to help this person or
yeah,
that person or that person. And the money is there to actually help
to help
somebody.
them.
And that gives you a good feeling when you could pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, God laid it on my heart to help
Mm-hmm.
you, because that's what we're supposed to do.
That's what we're
You know,
supposed to
he
do.
gives us the blessing so that we could bless
Bless
others.
others.
And you can't bless others if you up
You
to
don't
your
have
neck in debt.
anything exactly,
And your hand
and
closed.
your
You
hand
understand? Your
closed.
hand closed.
Yeah. So we're gonna close out there because we be here all day. TZ looking at me like, okay, ready to go home. I got a whole wife. I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all need to just, So DZ, thank you for your patience with us. And once again, I hope you going back home and giving little nuggets of whatever you learn to wifey so that y'all could get it together. She's the budgeting.
Mhm.
Oh shoot! I had
So
the
you
wrong
know
person
all this
on the show.
information.
I
Yeah.
need to bring DZ back on the show next time. All right, but thank you. That's good. That's good that you have a wife that knows how to, and that's how we should be.
Yeah.
As women in our households, we shouldn't be spurting all over the place,
No,
and
no.
yeah, we ain't getting into that. All right, let's go. Thank you so much, Facebook audience. Thank you for tuning in. I hope, and I know, well, not I hope, I know that you were educated, empowered, and encouraged today on the show, especially with Garnett, especially with Adessa, especially with DZ being on the show and helping us make this show a success today. Take those notes and apply it. Take those nuggets and apply it. If you have problems with challenging with your challenges and budgeting and stuff, Garnett told us where to find her um on TikTok. What is it again, Garnett? For the last time? Tidbits of Garnett. Go ahead and go look her up and go from there. All right. So thank you everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Have a beautiful Sunday. Until next time. Blessings.
She ain't waving at the people.
Oh,
there.
I was supposed to wait.